SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
At Community Bank, we're more than a place to manage your money. We're your neighbors and trusted financial advisors. For decades, we've helped families, small businesses, and individuals achieve their dreams. We're dedicated to your success every step of the way. Community Bank, member FDIC.
It's time to talk about dogs.
Bulldogs have won it.
Talkin Dawgs, that is, with Robbie Faulk, right here on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk is live here on SuperTalk 100.9 right here in the Golden Triangle in Starkville, Mississippi. Thank you for tuning in. You might be tuning in somewhere else. And if that's the case, thank you too. I appreciate you wherever you are. And the great thing about SuperTalk, the great thing about this show, is we are available just about everywhere, I believe, worldwide. I don't know. Sometimes it's a little weird with these podcasts, but you got a podcast app. You can find me every single week on Wednesdays after this show airs live. If you want to listen to me live, you can listen to me on supertalk.com, supertalk.fm. That is, and also the SuperTalk app if you are not in the Golden Triangle area. But wherever you are, thank you for tuning in for yet another episode of Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk. This is Robbie Faulk, and we're going to talk plenty Mississippi State sports here today on the show. For the next hour, you've got me right here locked in, talking nothing but Mississippi State sports and a little bit of high school sports. We're going to dive into the Starkville Daily Whip Around, where we talk about the Starkville High School Yellow Jackets. How about that Yellow Jacket basketball team bringing home 2 state championships last Friday night to Starkville, Mississippi? The dynasties continue. 2 of the best basketball programs in the state of Mississippi right there in Starkville, Mississippi. And we will talk plenty about the Yellow Jackets and their triumph over in Jackson. I was there. I saw both ball games, and I'll give a full report of what I saw as Matt Wilbanks and Anthony Carlisle bring home another trophy to the case in Starkville. Before we get to that, we got plenty of baseball to talk about. Mississippi State baseball has risen to number 3 in the country, to also to number 2 in the country with Baseball America. D1 Baseball has them at number 3. That's the poll that I use. But, you know, we're kind of grasping at straws if we're complaining about that. Mississippi State is top 3 in the country by the 2 biggest publications in baseball. That tells you all you need to know. I think they're top 5 in every category, every single poll out there. They're top 5 in the country heading into SEC play. They've done a great job in the first 16 games of the season. Of course, Tuesday night they played against Tulane and Biloxi, where we're not able to get that in here on this show. But regardless of what happens in that ball game, I think we've seen enough for Mississippi State to know that they are capable of competing inside the SEC. There's a lot that has to happen over the next few weeks for Mississippi State to lock down a national seed, a host spot, to bring baseball back to Dudy Noble Field, which is what everybody's goal is every single year for Mississippi State baseball. They haven't done it since 2021. This year they have the team capable of doing it and locking it down pretty early. And to do that, they're going to have to beat some really good teams in the SEC. You know, the RPI right now, people were using it last week when Mississippi State played Southern Miss because their RPI, I think, was in the 90s or whatever it was. That will change drastically over the next few weeks. Mississippi State's about to play, you look at the schedule and they're about to play Arkansas. They've got Ole Miss on the schedule coming up. They've got Tennessee down the line. They've got LSU. Some of those teams are struggling right now, but those are still really talented teams that are capable of competing for a national championship. And I think Mississippi State's capable of competing for a national championship as well. And when we come back from the break here in a second, I'll tell you exactly why. Because this team has shown it so far through the first 16-plus games of the season. And I believe that they're ready now to jump into SEC play and get rolling. Brian O'Connor has set the standard here at Mississippi State early. I think the players are following his lead, and it's been a really impressive group of players to this point to kind of see them grow as a unit and start to fall into their roles. They're still not playing their best baseball, in my opinion. I mean, there's still a lot of things that have to happen for this team to really reach its full potential. There's some pitching things that have to come into play and into the surface, and they've got to get their roles set as well. But for the most part, this is a really exciting team set for a really exciting season that hasn't even really taken off yet. SEC play begins this weekend. So when we come back, we'll dive into that a little bit more. Mississippi State baseball has a lot of exciting things ahead. I'll tell you why this team is built to compete for a national championship as SEC play begins. We're going to take a break. This is Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9 in the Golden Triangle.
At Bank Okolona, consistency isn't just something we strive for. It's our way of doing business. Whether you're in Okolona or Houston, Manatee or Bruce, Tupelo or Aberdeen, you'll always find friendly faces, helpful service, and hometown values. One bank, multiple communities. Consistently here for you. Find the branch nearest you at bankokolona.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking for quality and convenience? Matheson Hardware and Building Supply has you covered. We deliver lumber, roofing, doors, windows, and more straight to your job site. And check out our full line of Milwaukee battery-powered tools, plus plumbing, electrical, and Valspar paints for every project. And now we're your local source for guns, ammo, and so much more. For over 100 years, Matheson Hardware has been built on a legacy of customer service you can trust. Go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, or call them today at 662-263-4583.
Power up your convenience with the 4County mobile app. Managing your electric account has never been easier. With our free mobile app, you can view your bill, balance, and account details, report outages, track restoration progress, and make secure payments online. Stay informed by scheduling alerts and reminders for important account updates. Whether you're at home or on the go, the 4County app puts control in your hands. Download the app today and experience the power of convenience.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Your home is more than just where you live. It's one of your biggest financial tools. With a home equity line of credit from the Citizens Bank, you can use your home's equity to tackle renovations, consolidate debt, or cover life's bigger expenses. All with one flexible line of credit you can use as you need it. Talk with our local lenders and see how a HELOC can work for you. Call 1-800-397-0344 or visit the Citizens Bank today. The Citizens Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 525308. Some restrictions apply.
You're listening to Talkin Dawgs on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk back here on SuperTalk 100.9, the Golden Triangle. Proud to bring you this show now for about half a year. We got this thing rolling in the summer last year, and we've been rolling right along. So I appreciate you guys for being along for the ride every step of the way. And from the beginning, Jess Brantley and Alpha Insurance has been there every step of the way as well with the show, and they'll be there every step of the way with you, helping you save money, helping you take care of your family, take care of the things that you own, and take care of the things that you love. That's what Jess Brantley and his staff does over at Alpha Insurance in West Point, whether it's going to be taking care of your property with car insurance, homeowners insurance, or taking care of your loved ones if you happen to pass away with your life insurance policy. He can handle all that for you. Get the bundle over there, save a lot of money with Alpha Insurance, but also go with a team, go with a person that is going to be part of your family, an extension of your family. They treat you like family over there at Alpha Insurance. So go check out Jess Brantley in West Point over on South 4th Street, 36 South 4th Street. You can call them at 662-494-4142 and go check out Jess Brantley and Alpha Insurance. I promise you, you will be happy with the service that you get, but you'll also be happy with the fact that this is a group that's going to help save you money. And I've put it to the test. Put it up against 3 other insurance companies when I was looking for homeowners insurance. They beat it, and they also had the best service available. So go check out Jess Brantley today. Mississippi State baseball. 14-2 coming into Tuesday night's game against Tulane, a game that we were not able to see as of the recording of the show. But the Bulldogs, to this point, have passed a lot of tests. Now, it's important to note that they had the only 2 opportunities against top 25 teams to this point they haven't won. So that is a big question mark, I guess you could say. They have not won a big game to this point. They went to Arlington, and Arizona State. They came into that weekend. I think they were 8-1. The one loss came against Oklahoma, a team that they had run ruled. But Arizona State followed that up, and they lost all 3 games in Arlington. Now, I think that this is going to be an Arizona State team that should be pretty good this year. Their offense was really solid. They have a really good Friday night guy. And since that time when they lost those 4 consecutive ball games, they have won 3 in a row. And they've beaten TCU. I think that's going to be a good win for Mississippi State when it's all said and done. But it's still a team that, to this point, Mississippi State has not beaten a top 25 team. They have not beaten a top-tier team yet. They lost to UCLA in a game they should have won. Quite frankly, they should have won that ball game. They're up 5-3 with 2 outs remaining, or 1 out remaining in the ball game in the 9th inning, and you hit a batter and then you give up a 2-run shot to tie the game. You have the bases loaded with 1 out. You strike out looking on a pitch that, it was a ball, but in that situation, there's an opportunity there to make sure that you don't strike out there, and you did, and then you ground it out to end the inning, and UCLA ends up scoring 3 the next frame. At Southern Miss, you fell behind 5-0 in that ball game. You battled back, to Mississippi State's credit, and you ended up taking the lead in that game 6-5, but you couldn't hold the lead. You gave up 2 runs on wild pitches. So State has had the ability to win 2 top 10 games and be sitting there at an undefeated 16-0 at this point, and unquestionably the number 1 team in the country. But they haven't done it. Now, to Mississippi State's credit, too, I think that they have been a fairly resilient team. They fight back when they fall back in ball games. They fought back from losses. They came back last weekend and they won 3 games convincingly against Lipscomb, as they should. 8-3, 9-4, and 26-0 in 7 innings. And, the impressive thing was on Thursday night, when you come into that ball game against Lipscomb, you had really struggled in the first 4 or 5 innings. I think it was 5 innings they had not scored. And I don't know if it was a hangover from those first 2 ball games or what. But they didn't score for 5 innings. They fell behind 1-0. Drew Wires comes up in the 6th inning and hits a solo shot to lead off that inning to tie the game. He comes back the next inning, and it's another solo shot. And by the way, Wires sparked Mississippi State in that ball game to 5 runs in the 6th to kind of take things over. That's a guy that, over the course of the season, has been kind of in and out of the lineup, kind of a platoon guy. He has not been a regular starter. But it just seems like every time he comes up to the plate, he does something to say, man, he's got to play more. He's sitting here batting .478 now in the season with 11 hits and 9 ball games. I mean, it's going to be tough to keep this guy out of the lineup. Hit 2 home runs the other night. I think he had 3 hits on Saturday. So Drew Wires is doing everything he can to help the team. Such a mature guy, too. I wanted to send you to an interview real quick to hear Drew Wires talk about, his approach as a player and how he's handled all this and what he's looking for. This is a senior that's played at 3 different schools. He's been really productive everywhere he's been. He's played different positions, even played a little first base. Now, I got a kick out of what he said about playing first base. Listen to Drew Wires after Thursday night's game and get his thoughts on Mississippi State's win and how he kind of approaches things.
Robbie. Drew, it seems like every time you come up, you deliver a big hit. You hit 2 home runs tonight. Coach cannot nail this lineup down because it seems like every time he puts one of you guys in there that's kind of fighting for spots, you get the big hits. But also he talked about the camaraderie that you have as a team and all of that. I mean, what's that dynamic like with these guys? You're constantly fighting to get playing time, but it seems like you are cheering each other on too.
The best teams, iron sharpens iron. You look at the most successful teams that that win and they play in Omaha, right, the depth that they have, you know, it's a long season. And for a guy like me who's a vet who's been on the block or has played a lot of college baseball, you know, just being ready and stay mentally prepared and, you know, doing whatever I can to help this team win. I've never played in the postseason personally, so I'm really pushing to do whatever the team needs me to do to help us make a run into the postseason and compete for a national championship. But the dynamic's great, you know, and it's such a deep team, like you said. A lot of great players, a lot of great characteristics that guys uphold within their personalities, and it's a special group for sure.
If I could follow up too, and you talk about doing whatever you need to do, you're playing some first base over there. I mean, what's that been like? I mean, I know you moved around before in the middle infield, but to get over there to first base and play some over there too.
Yeah, I think again it just comes down to just doing whatever the team needs me to do, and that spot just happened to be up in the situation of the game. And I was a fat kid growing up, so I had some experience over at first. So luckily, I kind of know the angles and how to play first base a little bit just from being overweight at a young age. So it was a lot of fun being there. So again, just doing what I can to step up to help my team win.
David, I don't know if I can follow that up, but the home runs came tonight. I mean, you can't time things up, but you lead off consecutive innings with a home run. Take us through both of those shots.
I think my first at bat was a little too jittery, you know, so I needed to slow down and ground myself a little bit. That's not acceptable for a guy who's in my shoes, who's played a lot of college baseball. You know, I need to do a better job setting the tone, and I will, you know, whenever those next opportunities come. But it was pretty cool, you know, and I think, again, it comes down to Fear really throwing his balls off and keeping us in the game. I mean, he's a Friday guy for a reason. You know, you look at his composure, his stuff, the way he goes about his business, and he's going to continue to do that for us. But for us as an offense, I think for me, I really needed to step up in the leadoff spot and set the tone, and I thought I did so, and I remained grounded and just played baseball. You know, just slowed the game back down and made adjustments, and then just kind of came through in those moments.
Do you remember what you hit out?
Wait, what did you say?
What the pitches were? You remember what you hit out?
Both off speed. The first one was a changeup, and the next one was a hanging curveball. So they were spinning us a lot. So to make adjustments, you know, early on, and they were spinning us early. So to be able to just rely on my skill set to adjust and then be able to come through was big time.
All right, so that was Drew Wires, and just a really mature guy, a sneaky, funny guy. I remember talking to that guy during the recruiting process when he committed to Mississippi State, transferring in from Bryant, and was just so impressed with him. And I thought at that moment, man, this guy's going to be – I think he's going to be pretty good for Mississippi State. And, you know, he's only started in 7 of their 16 games. He's only played in 9. But he played in all 3 games the other night. And leading off was pretty darn good. I mean, it's going to be tougher and tougher to keep guys like Drew Wires out of the lineup. The problem is you got a guy like Garrick Fry who's played in almost every game. He's batting .353. There's just so many options for Brian O'Connor. So many options. We'll talk more about those options when we come back from the break. We still got a lot of show left, and we still got a lot of baseball to talk about as Mississippi State prepares for the first SEC weekend, traveling down to Fayetteville. Top 10 matchup coming up, the third top 10 opponent Mississippi State has played this year. We'll talk more of that when we come back from the break here on Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk. We are live on SuperTalk 100.9. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, folks.
Hey there, I'm Lee Burrell with Citizens Bank in Starkville. If you're thinking about growing your business, whether it's adding equipment, expanding your space, or starting something new, I'd love to help make it happen. At the Citizens Bank, we're in your corner, working with you one-on-one to find lending options that fit you. So stop by and see me at 201 Highway 12 West in Starkville, or give me a call at 662-323-1420, or visit www.thecitizensbankphila.com. I'm Lee Burrell, your hometown commercial lender, here to help your business take the next big step. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Dream lawns need a realistic plan, and Kubota has reliable, powerful, zero-turn mowers to help you see those dreams come to life. Plus, dealer support to help you achieve your goals. Stop by today. Right now, bring home select Kubota Z400 series for 0 down, 1.99% APR for up to 48 months. Now through March 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Fork County Electric Power Association has spent more than 85 years working to improve the quality of life of all we touch. And that's why we created the Fork County Foundation. Thanks to the generosity of Fork County member owners, the foundation has awarded more than $2.5 million to organizations that support the communities we serve. If you have a 501c3 organization that helps improve the lives of Fork County members, visit forkcounty.org and see if the Fork County Foundation can help you.
Looking for quality and convenience? Matheson Hardware and Building Supply has you covered. We deliver lumber, roofing, doors, windows, and more straight to your job site. And check out our full line of Milwaukee battery-powered tools, plus plumbing, electrical, and Valspar paints for every project. And now we're your local source for guns, ammo, and so much more. For over 100 years, Matheson Hardware has been built on a legacy of customer service you can trust. Go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, or call them today at 662-263-4583.
At Bank Okolona, consistency isn't just something we strive for. It's our way of doing business. Whether you're in Okolona or Houston, Manatee or Bruce, Tupelo or Aberdeen, you'll always find friendly faces, helpful service, and hometown values. One bank, multiple communities. Consistently here for you. Find the branch nearest you at bankokolona.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Talkin Dawgs on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk is back here on SuperTalk 100.9, the Golden Triangle, or wherever you get podcasts. Also at supertalk.fm. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Matheson Hardware and Building Supply. You guys have got to go check them out over in Matheson. Brad Huffman and Ted Dewitt bringing you a hardware store that you can be proud of. They'll take care of you in there. They'll give you whatever materials you need for your job. They got everything over there. They got the lumber they can deliver to your job site. They got anything all the way down to you're wanting to fix your toilet. They got everything right there. Every project can be taken care of with what you can get from Matheson Hardware over there in Scott Avenue in Matheson, right off of Highway 82. These guys also have a new rewards program. So the more you buy, the more you save, and they'll take care of you too. Small Town Rewards is coming your way over at Matheson Hardware and Building Supply. So you guys have got to go over there and check them out, sign up for the rewards program, and get in there and talk a little bit with those folks. Great folks, good down-home people that just want to take care and serve you. So you can find them Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and on Saturday, 7 a.m. to noon. They're closed on Sunday, but they're open 6 days a week right there in Matheson. You can call them at 662-263-4583. Go check out Matheson Hardware Building Supply today. So, Mississippi State baseball, man, what can you say about this offensive lineup that these guys have? I mean, Reed Stallman is leading the team with a .452 batting average, and he's kind of banged up right now. You bring that out of the lineup, and you insert, essentially the other day they inserted Drew Wires for Reed Stallman, and all he does is hit 2 big home runs and have another game where he has 3 hits. You bring in Jacob Parker for a ball game off the bench. He hits a massive home run. Garrick Fry, they keep benching him, and then they'll pinch hit him, and he'll come in and immediately deliver a big hit. A lot of people thought Bryce Chance was going to be a guy that slipped out of the lineup eventually. He's just batting .429 and has started in every single game to this point, except for one. Ace Reese is having a phenomenal start with a .406 average, 26 hits leads the team, 10 doubles lead the team, 21 RBI lead the team. Noah Sullivan's batting .405 so far with 17 hits, a team leading 5 home runs. He had 3 home runs last week with an 8-hit weekend, 17 RBI for him. Aiden Till has yet to really get going, and he was sick all last week with the flu. And you say he's kind of down the order a little bit as far as batting average. He's batting .286 Ryder Woodson has started to really explode now. 19 hits is second on the team. He has 8 doubles. That's second on the team. Has just been scalding the baseball. So this lineup is just absolutely nuts. You know, Bryce Chance has essentially been batting ninth, and you got a guy batting nearly .430 at the bottom of the order that hardly ever gets out whenever there's a situation with, 2 outs and maybe a runner in scoring position. I mean, it seems like he's always delivering in that sense. The Bulldogs are slugging .601 as a team. They have 47 doubles, one of the top offenses in the country. And they're running on the bases. That was a point of contention for a lot of state fans earlier in the year. They really struggled running the bases. They were getting thrown out on the bases. They were making some poor decisions. That seems to slowly be fixing itself. They now have 29 stolen bases. They've been thrown out 7 times, but of late, it seems like they've been a lot more consistent running the bases. Batting .356 as a team. This is the best offense in the SEC right now. Now, of course, when you get in SEC play, these numbers are going to go down a little bit. But I do think that they could climb in certain areas. I think the home runs are probably going to jump whenever the weather continues to warm up a little bit. This is a team that got kind of a slow start in home run hitting, and now they're really starting to get rolling. They're at 27 home runs on the year now. Through the first, 7 games, they had maybe 3. So they're really starting to see those home runs climb, and they're coming from up and down the lineup. Jacob Parker, the freshman's already hit 3 of them. I think that kid's going to be really special. You've seen double-digit home runs from Blake Beavis, Drew Wires, Aiden Till, Garrick Fry. Ace Reese and Noah Sullivan have 9 between them. Reed Stallman's hit 3. But it hadn't been a team that's just been trying to hit home runs. Their line drives that are turning into home runs, they're just hitting the ball really hard. I love the offensive approach that Kevin McMullen brings to this team. And I think as the year goes on, you're going to really see how dangerous this offense is. From a pitching perspective, I think that State has also kind of found itself with its rotation. I believe that they're probably going to settle in where they're at with Ryan McPherson on Friday, Tomas Valinkas on Saturday, and Duke Stone on Sunday. They had a little bit of an issue getting that nailed down the first couple of weekends with Charlie Foster. Foster pitched on Tuesday night against Tulane. But Duke Stone's kind of taken over, and he's just been really solid. I mean, you look at it, he's only walked 2 guys in 17 2/3 innings, has 24 strikeouts. He's up there with Valinkas and McPherson in strikeouts. McPherson has been fantastic. 23 innings as the Friday night starter with 5 earned runs, 5 walks, and 28 strikeouts. 1.96 earned average. Tomas Valinkas just gave up his first runs of the season the last couple of outings. 20 2/3 innings. He's given up 4 earned runs, 6 walks, and 26 strikeouts. So I think this is a really solid 3-man group here for your weekend. McPherson, Valinkas, Duke Stone. And if you can get Charlie Foster to really nail it down, that's a lefty that you could really utilize in the bullpen or as a weekday starter. They lost William Kirk, tore his ACL. We reported that last week that he tore his ACL. Second straight year he's torn his ACL, and this one is in the other leg. So just a very tough situation for him. But hopefully he can get back next year and really help the team. There's still some pieces in the bullpen that have got to get locked down. I think you've seen some good things so far from Jack Gleason. He's only given up 1 run in his first 7 appearances, 17 strikeouts to 1 walk. I think you've seen some good things from Maddox Webb. Wasn't as strong last weekend, but 6 1/3 innings and only 2 earned runs to this point, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, 2.84. Brendan Sweeney was really good in the bullpen. He struggled against Southern Miss, but he's been good in the bullpen. I'm not going to throw him out just yet. And then Ben Davis, he was doing a very good job against UCLA, and then things kind of unraveled on him as he started to tire out. There's some other guys that have got to step up there for Mississippi State to feel really good about where they are as a team in conference play. That's going to be the difference for this team. I think the offense is going to be really good. I think their starters are going to be really good for most of the year as well. But how far this team goes, I think, is based on how many guys they can get to nail down spots in the bullpen and get the job done. If they can get guys that can close out ball games, because there's going to be a lot of SEC ball games that come down to the wire, and Mississippi State's going to need to have somebody that comes in there and just shuts a team down. They need 4 of those guys that you feel good about. You need 1 or 2 on Friday night. You need maybe 1 on Saturday, and then on Sunday you need another one. There's got to be some guys that can close things down, the back end of the bullpen, that can shut an offense down, that can allow their offense to get going. And the bullpen has not been bad for Mississippi State. They've actually had some really good outings. I thought against Southern Miss they were really good until they couldn't block up a couple of wild pitches from Maddox Miller. I thought they were fine. I thought against UCLA they were really good. They gave them a chance. Ben Davis was an out away from that being a masterful bullpen job by Justin Parker. But there's still work to be done back there. So still some roles to be won there. And listen, this is still a fairly young pitching staff. I mean, there's very few guys that have a ton of experience in this pitching staff. The roles are going to reverse a little bit next year. If you look at this roster and the setup here, the roles are going to change from a veteran offense, a loaded veteran offense, to a loaded veteran pitching staff. Because you look at what they got next year, man. Tomas Valenkas, Ryan McPherson, Duke Stone, and Charlie Foster are all going to be 3-year guys. Those are going to be the bulk of your innings right there from those 4. Those guys are just sophomores or juniors. Jack Gleason's going to be a sophomore. Going to pitch a lot of innings this year. Parker Rhodes is getting his feet wet. He'll be a sophomore next year and should be really, really good. William Kirk will be back. Hopefully he can help you out. Chris Billingsley will be back. Will probably pitch a lot of innings. Maddox Webb, Tanner Beliveau, Jack Bauer. Those guys are going to be sophomores next year with experience this season. This is going to be one of the best staffs in the country if they keep everybody together and keep them healthy. So this is the year where they're going to have to rely heavily on their offense to win them some games. There's going to be some games where they're giving up some runs. I still think that this pitching staff is going to be pretty good. I mean, they have a 3.5 earner average right now. They'll probably be somewhere over 4, which is good enough for this team to make a run because their offense is so good. But next year, I think some really special things ahead for this pitching staff. And if you can add some more pieces offensively, they can get right back to where they are right now. So we'll see how that rolls for Mississippi State. All right, we're going to take another break. When we get back, how about those Starkville Yellow Jackets? We'll talk about them when we get back here on Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk. SuperTalk 100.9.
At Bank Okolona, consistency isn't just something we strive for. It's our way of doing business. Whether you're in Okolona or Houston, Manatee or Bruce, Tupelo or Aberdeen, you'll always find friendly faces, helpful service, and hometown values. One bank, multiple communities. Consistently here for you. Find the branch nearest you at bankokolona.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Landowners, are you ready to turn your timber into real value? At Good Hope Land and Timber, we specialize in helping landowners like you make smart, sustainable decisions. Whether you're planting a final harvest, thinning a stand, development thinning, or managing your forest long-term, our experienced team is here to guide you every step of the way. We're trained in the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and follow best management practices to protect your land and maximize your return. Call me, Jake Moody, at 601-416-6266. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Looking to complete those tough jobs and don't have the right equipment? Let H&R AgriPower in Columbus help you out. We now offer Kubota's mini excavators, track loaders, and L-Series tractors available for rent. You can also rent attachments like our cutter heads, grapples, post hole diggers, and more. Give H&R AgriPower a call for daily, weekly, and monthly rental rates. Stop by your hometown dealer today. Visit us at our new location, located at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus.
Your home is more than just where you live. It's one of your biggest financial tools. With a home equity line of credit from the Citizens Bank, you can use your home's equity to tackle renovations, consolidate debt, or cover life's bigger expenses. All with one flexible line of credit you can use as you need it. Talk with our local lenders and see how a HELOC can work for you. Call 1-800-397-0344 or visit the Citizens Bank today. The Citizens Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 525308. Some restrictions apply.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk back here on SuperTalk 100.9 in the Golden Triangle. Thank you for checking in for another episode of Talkin Dawgs. And big shout out to Austin Voller and Voller Law for sponsoring our show. They've been on with us now for a few weeks, and appreciate those guys for being a part of this show. And as we know, criminal accusations can destroy lives, but you can let Voller Law Firm's proven track record of winning help you and your loved ones during this very difficult time. From alcohol offense to murder, from trial to bail, Voller Law Firm has a history of results. Getting the attorneys at Voller on board is an investment in the rest of your life, and at Voller Law Firm, results matter. Their lawyers have the experience, ability, and financial power to represent your cause and get the results you deserve. So put your trust in Voller Law Firm, and for more info, go to vollerlawfirm.com, or you can call Austin in his office over there at 662-323-0083. I promise you, Austin is the guy to help you out in your time of need. There's not a better guy out there. So the Starkville Yellow Jackets, they go over to the big house in Jackson. That's a place where, you know, they've played a lot of basketball over the years. You look at the history of the program for both the boys and the girls, and things really got rolling for the Yellow Jackets in these two programs with the hiring of Christy Williams for the girls and Greg Carter for the boys. And those two coaches built a culture around those teams that has been sustainable now through multiple coaches. And I covered both of them. I know them both very well. I covered multiple state championships for both teams. And they just built things up to be sustainable long term. And I've always said, you know, people talk about Starkville as a football school, but this team, this school has been more productive in basketball than any other sport. It's really been incredible to see just the consistency, and like tradition doesn't graduate. You hear that all the time. They don't have down years of Starkville. They might have, the down year for them is not making it to Jackson, not making it to the semifinal, but they don't have down years. You know, they had a couple of years where, a few years now, that they have not been able to make it to this point, and they finally were able to do it again last Friday. So coming into the season, both teams number one in the country, number one in the state. The boys had a couple of moments there, I think, where they might have fallen to number two. I'm not sure. You know, the rankings are kind of all over the place, but for the most part, both teams were essentially wire to wire number one in the state. The boys team last year, they go to the quarterfinals. They take on Madison Central, a district opponent. They'd already won the district championship. They beat Germantown, who, by the way, would eventually go win the state title. They beat Germantown for the district championship. And at Mississippi Valley, they were winning the ball game in the final minute. Looked like they were going to cruise over to Jackson to compete for a state championship. Madison Central comes back and wins the game. That was a heartbreaker. And that one stuck in the craw of Anthony Carlisle and his team for a full year. They've been thinking about that game for a full year and been working towards the goal of getting back. I talked to Jerwan McCarter after the game on Friday night, and he talked about, you know, how hard this team had worked since that moment to try to get back. And I believe it. You know, when they came out in game one this year, first few games of the season, the first game I think I saw was Neshoba Central, and they just absolutely rolled in that game. Every game I saw them play, they were locked in, determined, doing whatever it took to win. They lost 3 games on the year. One of them was out-of-state game to a team in Tennessee, I believe. And the other two were district games where, they went on the road and they just lost a little bit of focus. And they lost ball games to, I believe, Madison Central on the road, and they lost to Germantown. I think after that Germantown game, something clicked in this team where they realized any given moment they could lose. That they're the best team in the state, but at some point, if they don't play their best, they're going to lose. And it came back to fruition in the district championship against Germantown. They go up against Germantown in Oxford. They fell behind in that ball game, I think, by 9 points. Fought back. Anthony Carlisle was actually happy about how that game played out because his team's back was against the wall, and they had to fight out of it and go find a way to win. And as he told me, you're going to have games like that in the postseason. When you get into the playoffs, there will be games where your backs are against the wall, you're on the verge of losing the ball game, you have to go find a way to win. And that's exactly what they did. So fast forward to, the semifinals that took care of business. They get to the state championship, and it's Germantown again. This is game 4 between these two teams. Starkville's won two of the first 3. The first one was without Sam Funchess, though. They played that game without Sam Funchess, who was suspended for 4 games, Mr. Basketball in 7A, signed with Gonzaga, 7-footer. So the challenge was there for the Starkville. They've been put out in the playoffs to Sam Funchess in Germantown a few years ago. Jerwan McCarter was on that team when he was a sophomore, and they lost the quarterfinal game to Germantown at Mississippi Valley. And this game was a massive challenge. This tested the will like no other for Starkville. They got behind by 13 points in the second half, and they stormed back. The three-point shot and their defense got them back in the ball game, and they come back and win this ball game, folks. It was an incredible game to close out Friday night, and Starkville brings home their 6th state championship. It was the 7th for Anthony Carlisle, by the way, and he's done it with 4 different teams. I don't think anybody's done that in the state of Mississippi. I could be wrong, but I don't think anybody's done that. He tied his father, Archie, who was an incredible coach as well, and tied him with 7 state championships. He had a pin with his father's face on it on the sidelines, which I thought was really cool. Really good moment for Anthony Carlisle. 4 different teams he's won a state championship with, and Starkville's now won 6 of those state titles as they make Greg Carter proud and bring home a state championship. On the girls' side of things, Matt Wilbanks has coached a couple of different teams to Jackson, was very close to winning a state championship a few years ago with Morton, which is where he comes from to coach the Starkville Yellow Jackets. And, man, he had some major shoes to fill. He had some even bigger shoes to fill than Anthony Carlisle. He replaced a Hall of Fame caliber coach, a state championship coach, and Christy Williams, who is still with Starkville as an administrator and has done such a great job building that program there. The Starkville Lady Yellow Jackets were perennial powers in 7A and 6A over the years. But their last state championship was 2018. And they've got to the state title in Wilbanks' first season last year, and they came up short against Tupelo. Just like the boys, this team was determined on a revenge tour to get back to the state title and win it all. And what a dominant season they had. 31-3 season for Starkville. They lost 3 ball games, 0 losses to anyone inside the state of Mississippi in 7A. They lost to Laurel, which was, I believe, their only loss to a Mississippi team. Did not lose to a single team in 7A this year. They go undefeated in district. They win their district championship. They rolled through the playoffs. The only game that was really competitive was that semifinal game against Biloxi, which a lot of people thought was the de facto state championship. Those two teams have played in the semifinals now 2 years in a row. And I imagine Biloxi's going to be one of the favorites to win it next year. But Starkville was just too much defensively against Harrison Central. Jada Gay, Jade Brown, Zariah Brown, they were just suffocating on defense. They gave up 7 points in the first half and built that lead. The game never got under double digits after halftime, and they cruised to a championship. So well-deserved for Matt Wilbanks and his crew. What a year. Jada Gay was Miss Basketball in 7A. She's going to Southern Miss. She was the MVP of this game as well with a great outing. I think she had 15 in the ball game and 9 rebounds. What a season for both Starkville Yellow Jacket teams, and happy for those folks over there. 2 great hires, by the way, by Tony McGee, the superintendent, when he hired Matt Wilbanks and hired Anthony Carlisle. I mentioned it the other day on Twitter. He hired those coaches to win state titles, and in 2 years, they brought them home and competed for them in year 1, and I think they'll compete for them again. You got a lot of challenges next year because you're replacing some of those players, big-time players, Jada Gay, Jade Brown, moving on from the girls' team. You're losing Jerwan McCarter. You're losing Jaden Tate for the boys. But tradition doesn't graduate over there. They don't make excuses. It's just the next man up. And I fully believe that team's going to be competing yet again for a state championship next year. So congratulations to the Starkville Yellow Jackets and the Lady Yellow Jackets for another championship brought home to what's becoming Titletown over there in Starkville when it comes to basketball. 12 state titles between those 2 teams. Congratulations to them both. All right, when we come back, we'll close things out with the SEC tournament in basketball. This is Talkin Dawgs, Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9.
Hey there, I'm Lee Burrell with Citizens Bank in Starkville. If you're thinking about growing your business, whether it's adding equipment, expanding your space, or starting something new, I'd love to help make it happen. At the Citizens Bank, we're in your corner, working with you one-on-one to find lending options that fit you. So stop by and see me at 201 Highway 12 West in Starkville, or give me a call at 662-323-1420, or visit www.thecitizensbankphila.com. I'm Lee Burrell, your hometown commercial lender, here to help your business take the next big step. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Dream lawns need a realistic plan, and Kubota has reliable, powerful, zero-turn mowers to help you see those dreams come to life. Plus, dealer support to help you achieve your goals. Stop by today. Right now, bring home select Kubota Z400 series for 0 down, 1.99% APR for up to 48 months. Now through March 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Power up your convenience with the 4-County mobile app. Managing your electric account has never been easier. With our free mobile app, you can view your bill, balance, and account details, report outages, track restoration progress, and make secure payments online. Stay informed by scheduling alerts and reminders for important account updates. Whether you're at home or on the go, the 4-County app puts control in your hands. Download the app today and experience the power of convenience.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Looking to get the most out of your land? Trust the experts at Good Hope Land and Timber, your full-service land and timber company with years of experience in forestry and land management. From land and timber purchasing, timber management, plantation thinning, and development harvesting, our team handles it all, safely, efficiently, and sustainably. Our experienced logging force is trained to the highest standards under the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and best management practices. Call me, Jake Moody, at 601-416-6266. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk back here on SuperTalk 100.9 to close out your Wednesday morning. Thank you for being a part of this thing for yet another Wednesday. We appreciate everything that you guys are doing out there, and appreciate our sponsors too. Jess Brantley over at Alpha Insurance in West Point. We love Jess. We love those guys over there. We love Matheson Hardware in Matheson, Mississippi. We'd love for you guys to go check them out over there and see what they got to offer you at Matheson Hardware. And we also love Austin Voller and Voller Law for all their work that they do over in Starkville and the surrounding community. So 3 great sponsors, 3 people that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and we do business with all three when we can. So I hope you guys will do that as well. So real quick, with Mississippi State basketball, we won't spend a lot of time on it because I know you guys have suffered through enough over this year for Mississippi State. The men are getting ready for SEC tournament action here in just a little bit. I think they're playing at 12:30 they play. 2 p.m. Play at 2 p.m. on SEC Network against Auburn. 13-18, the end is near for the Bulldogs. Barring some magical run in the tournament, their season will end this week. And the clock starts ticking for Chris Jans. He's got to fix this issue for Mississippi State. You can't have a season like this and do it again next year. So, 5-13 in conference play. They beat Auburn earlier this year, but this is an Auburn team that's fighting for their tournament lives. If they win this game, they'll probably stay in the hunt. I don't know how they're staying in the hunt. They're barely over 500, but, hey, I don't understand a lot of things. But State will try to ruin their season here, and maybe Josh Hubbard can break a school record this time. Josh Hubbard, by the way, third team All-SEC. I know that there's a lot of good players in this league, and I know that there's a lot more to it than scoring, but to have the season that he's having and be third team is wild. But that's what the coaches selected. I think he got second team by the Associated Press, but Josh Hubbard, he's having the best season of his career, shooting 35% from three-point range and averaging 22 a game. Next year, if he returns, he will be Mississippi State's all-time leading scorer. He's had his issues at times, but statistically, this is his best year ever. So, really interesting that he finished third team, but it is what it is. On the women's side of things, they finished out the SEC tournament really disappointing end of the season for the women. They lost 5 games in a row when all they needed was really 2 wins. You win 2 games, you're probably in the NCAA tournament. Instead, they're not going to win 20. They lost by 18 to a Florida team that just fired their coach. So really disappointing finish to the year. The team's not going to make the NCAA tournament, and I don't expect them to accept a bid to the WBIT either. So I expect that season to be ended. Did get some good news last week. Favor Wadozie is returning for her senior season. Now just awaiting Madison Francis and the news around her. Can Mississippi State retain her and keep her for another year? I think that would be absolutely massive for Sam Purcell if he's able to do that, and devastating if he's not. It's a really important deal for him to be able to lock her down and get her back for another year, for her sophomore year, which could be a All-American type season if she gets some pieces around her. So that's the key. You got to keep players. You got to keep your best players. And we'll see how that plays out. I think we'll know fairly soon if Mississippi State can lock that down or if she's going to enter the transfer portal because she's going to be a hot commodity. I imagine there's already teams around the country that are tampering with her and trying to get her in the portal because that's how it goes. But Mississippi State is doing everything it possibly can to try to get Madison Francis back for another season. Pairing her with Favor Wadozie and a couple other pieces and then adding players out of the transfer portal could make for a huge offseason for Sam Purcell. He had a tough one last year. He's due some good things happening. So we'll check on that and keep you updated there for sure. All right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in for another episode. We'll be back next Wednesday to talk about the series against Arkansas. We'll maybe start previewing some spring football, which is, I believe, beginning next week. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But for now, I'm going to hit the road, and I hope you guys have a great spring break. I hope you've enjoyed the first few days of it. I don't get it. So enjoy it yourself. I'll live vicariously through you. All right, this has been Robbie Faulk. This has been Talkin Dawgs, and we will catch you down the road.
You've been listening to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk.
Mississippi State with a victory here.
Listen each Wednesday at 9 a.m. on SuperTalk 100.9.
Don't you know I'm gonna make it with my friends? I promised myself I'd get back. Said I'm gonna try it with them too.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.